Dani then said that Hayley can do all the stuff she wants because she has sex with that man for the last time, which was, Dani getting a little flippant of the mouth when it comes to, in my opinion, her competing with Hayley for Bill's attention right here. What is up, Beyond the Gates fans? Happy Friday. Here to talk about today's Friday episode, which was mostly a filler Friday, I do feel like. Although I will say the second half of the episode did have much better moments. The first half was rough for me. I felt like I was watching a repeat. Felt like a lot of things were happening that we see happen all the time on this show. Plus, we continue to have the health storylines dominate the show. Again, today it was all about Eva recovering, Chelsea, Dani, Naomi, and the BRCA gene, Bill's health deteriorating. That does get a little old, but let's talk about today's episode. Ted was helping Eva today, still recovering from the liver transplant. Since Isaiah was at work, he brought her food. Was glad Eva is feeling better. Shanice called Ted to see how Eva was doing. He said she was good. He was going to be back at the hospital soon, but of course there was a knock at the door. Ted opened the door, and it was Leslie at the door while Ted was still on the phone with Shanice. And then, of course, Leslie said, "Hello there, teddy bear." So Shanice heard all of that. Ted said goodbye to Shanice on the phone. Eva didn't need Leslie to come over today, wanted Leslie to go. Eva wanted to go to her bedroom and get some rest. Leslie wanted to stay and watch her stories in case Eva did need her. But Leslie insisted on staying. Eva went to go lay down, and that's when Ted and Leslie got into it a little bit. Ted said that he thought that what happened between their daughters, Kat and Eva, really was going to make Leslie turn over a new leaf, but that she hasn't changed. And Ted, really for the first time ever since Keith Robinson has been playing Ted, told Leslie and stuck up for himself, pushed Leslie away from all her flirting, said he's sick of her come-ons, and it's about damn time that she respects his boundaries. Finally, Ted did that. Eva heard them arguing, though, came out, heard that Ted was upset with Leslie for the flirting. And Eva got upset with Leslie for always doing this kind of stuff, too. Told Leslie to leave and to not come back until Leslie is done overdoing things with Ted, because Leslie's supposed to have a boyfriend in Marcel, and yet she's still doing all this. And Eva doesn't want to lose the bond that she now has with her father. So it was kind of more of the same between Leslie and Ted, but I do feel like, maybe the writers heard us complaining about how foolish Ted is and how he just lets Leslie get away with everything. Because this really was the first time in well over a year that I feel like Ted really tried to draw a line with Leslie or Dana. Madison found Shanice at the hospital, lost in thought, upset that Ted is near his, quote, thirsty psycho baby mama as they speak. But when Ted came back to the hospital, Shanice saw that Ted was pretty down, asked what Leslie did now. Ted didn't really want to talk about it. He said he canceled his appointments tonight, wants to take Shanice out. So they spent some time together. Ted was complaining about Leslie, saying he's so over it. He said that Shanice is the only woman in his life and had something to say to her. And then Ted admits that he is falling in love with her. So, progress on this Shanice and Ted relationship, even though the way they've written it this year, I am over this relationship. But I guess they're falling more for each other, because we know that Shanice feels the same way. Dani was with Kat and Chelsea today. Dani happy to see Kat is up and about from Kat, having the surgery to give Eva part of her liver, another person that's had a health storyline over the past month on this show. But they then discussed the Chelsea Cat hero handbag, but Chelsea was in a somber mood. Dani asked what is wrong. Chelsea brought up Naomi's gene. It was basically turned into Chelsea panicking about both her mom and sister having the gene. And then she got upset when Dani got a text and was smiling at something on the phone. So Dani had to say life is full of complications and that she was smiling on the phone because it was a picture that Vernon took of Anita smiling and laughing and kikiing with Sharon and Tracy. Said that if Anita can remain positive, Dani can do the same for herself and Naomi. Later, Madison tried to get Chelsea to see that she has some sort of survivor's guilt since she doesn't have the gene and her mom and sister do. And Madison wanted to help make Chelsea feel better, so they went home and took a hot shower together and then got in bed together. Honestly, good to see at least some sort of loving between Chelsea and Madison on this show. Hayley started this episode in Bill's office, said that Bill's been working too hard, says he needs to rest. He said there's no rest for the wicked. She warned that his rest could be permanent if he's not careful. He was upset by those comments, but she's still upset that he checked himself out of the hospital and they still don't know what's wrong with him and that he needs to take care of himself. She apologized for her poor choice of words, but told him about Naomi and Chelsea and Kat ripping her a new one for not taking good care of him and having a spa day yesterday. Bill said that Hayley left because he asked her to and he will tell the girls not to give her grief, but Hayley thinks that could make things worse. Hayley left and Kat came by looking for Tomas, and Bill asked Kat why all the women in her family are determined to make his wife's life a living hell. Kat said that Hayley is the one that went from side chick to trophy wife and that she deserves a gold medal for that. Bill tried to call Kat out, saying that Tomas is similar because Tomas, Kat's man, did have an affair, or at least slept with Kat's sister Eva. Kat was saying it's not the same thing. Kat said that she had it out for Eva long before Tomas and that Eva made things impossible for them to have a real sister relationship by ruining her parents' marriage. Bill brought up how the Duprees know how to hold a grudge, which is true. But Kat did end up stopping by Eva's at the end of the episode, and Kat said that she had to thank Eva. Good to see these two having scenes again. They've really been one of the better storylines over these past several weeks was the whole, obviously, liver transplant storyline. I feel like the show did a good job with that, and then it's back to boring ever since. But it's good to see these two having scenes again. Kat thanked Eva because Tomas told her that Eva gave Tomas good advice and said that he should have seeked out Eva before discussing personal business with Eva. Eva said that she hopes Kat and Tomas work things out and that she's rooting for them. Kat brought up how, of course, Eva has a good-looking man of her own right now. But I guess they both still have the understanding, like Kat said at the hospital, that nothing is really changing when it comes to them being real sisters anytime soon. But I already feel like this is some progress for these two having a tighter sisterly relationship. The preview next week, I don't know why Kat's going to be upset about what she's upset about, but we'll discuss that on Sunday. Hayley ran into Dani at the country club today, and Dani, of course, got into it with her. Dani upset that, Bill got with this younger chick, Hayley, and now that, and Hayley wanted to get with an older guy, but now that Bill is showing his age, Hayley is pulling disappearing acts when he needs help. Hayley says that Bill said that she should have the spa day. Hayley asked if Andre knows how obsessed Dani is with Bill right now, and Dani said that Bill is the one still obsessed with her, and how all the things in Bill and Hayley's life is already what Bill lived with Dani, from the fantasies to Hayley being a part of the country club. Said that Bill can't get over Dani, and that's what tears Hayley up inside. Now, I talked about this on Sunday too, because part of this was in the preview, that Dani is out here in this fight with Hayley for Bill's attention when Hayley doesn't give a fuck about that man. Hayley's trying to kill that man, and Dani is looking like her usual pathetic self, when it comes to Bill in this argument, in my opinion. Hayley said that she's doing a lot of sexing with Bill every chance they get, and maybe they should slow down because that might be what has Bill's health problems persisting. Dani then said that Hayley can do all the stuff she wants because she has sexed that man for the last time, which was, Dani getting a little flippant of the mouth when it comes to, in my opinion, her competing with Hayley for Bill's attention right here, which is very pathetic of Dani. So Hayley did call Bill about the run-in with Dani, said that Dani said something slick about how Bill can't get over her and Hayley is free to have all the sex that she wants. And then Hayley was upset that Bill's not going to be coming to meet her. That's because Bill, I think, was upset to hear this from Hayley about what Dani said. Leslie was being nosy, overhearing this phone call. Sat by Hayley again. This is a repeat scene we've seen 4 or 5 times that never goes anywhere. Leslie is upset about Ted right now and that run-in, and she sees that Hayley is upset about Bill. But Hayley still doesn't want to team up with Leslie. Wants Leslie to stop starting conversations with her and keep it moving the next time Leslie sees Hayley. Leslie says, okay, she tried to be friends with Hayley. If Hayley doesn't want to be friends, then Hayley just made an enemy. But before Leslie could leave, Hayley grabbed Leslie by the arm and said, be careful who she is threatening, bitch. And said if Leslie comes for her, she gives as good as she gets. I mean, at least this was a different ending for these two having the same damn conversation of Leslie trying to be Hayley's friend and Hayley denying it. Got a little tense. 2 villains, maybe, if Leslie's even still a villain and not just a cartoon, getting into it with each other here. I still would have liked them teaming up at some point, but maybe there will be some sort of drama between them down the line. An upset Bill then stopped by Dani's. Dani said, what is he doing here? Andre could have been home. Bill says he's trying to figure Dani out because he brings up Dani antagonizing Hayley about their connection, since Dani's the one that keeps saying they got to make sure nobody finds out about the elevator, and he asked Dani what's really going on here. Dani's upset that Hayley already told Bill all of this. Bill tries to tell Dani that Hayley is not dumb and that Hayley could catch on to them and blow up both of their marriages. Dani says there's nothing going on between them. What happened in the elevator was a lapse of judgment. But then he stepped closer to Dani and asked her if she is sure about that. And I don't know if Dani is sure about that with how pathetic she can usually be with Bill. But I like that at least the Bill, Hayley, Dani storyline still has some sort of mess for us, even though I know it's going to be stretched out for at least 2 more months, if not more. But some story on the show has to give us mess and can't just be about health. So that was good to see. Hayley getting a little cunty back with Leslie was nice too, but I'm not convinced it's going to lead to anything because they've been having the same damn conversations for as long as the show has been on, and it's yet to lead to something between them. And it was good to see Eva and Kat have scenes together again. But overall, it did feel like a filler Friday. The preview for next week also looks more of the same from this week. I do think this show is back in a lull. It seems to get boring for 2 to 3 months and then try to have a decent month or a good month. So I'm kind of hoping that's not the case, but I'm expecting the show to not kind of rev back up again until September or October, the way it's looking.